Thanks, Nafasi. So, just really on a high level, we'll talk about somatic practices. We shared this already about relating to the body. All of this, I really encourage you to continue. It sounds like some of you have already been doing work and research around somatic practices. And so some of this might be a repeat for you, but I want to encourage all of us to continue those studies. But yeah, cultivating awareness and connecting to our bodies is a big part of this. And so I think it was Viv who talked about just reminding, and I even saw you, Viv, like physically moving your body. It just seemed like you were working something through as we were going around. Our somatic nervous system are those nerves that are connected to our skin and our muscles. And so there's no wonder that we are expressing, the tightness, the soreness, the sweatiness. There's so much that we carry in our bodies. We carry experiences, memories. I don't know how many of you are studying this also, but, just the anxiety and trauma of ancestors, as well as the joys and the triumphs, all of that is carried in the body, and we receive that. It gets passed to us as well. I like to think of somatic practices for myself as an intervention, and it helps us move from our headspace to our whole body. And so there are days when, we talked about capitalism, and getting, thinking so much. There are those days, especially there's a lot of students on here. So there may be days where we might be feeling disconnected, like a Q-tip almost, like got this lollipop head and the rest of my body is down below, but somatic practices brings us back to that, making that connection between the head and the body, and really asks us to put more focus into ourselves and go inward. So I'm really, again, I'm really grateful to hear that folks are already listening to our bodies. Can we go forward? So ways of connecting to our bodies, and these are things that we can do every single day. We'll do a couple of these, but ways of connecting are doing a body scan, which we'll do in a minute. I talked earlier about breathwork, and that, it took an entire global pandemic for me to learn how to properly breathe. But breathwork is one of the most important ways to ground and connect back to ourselves. So if we're feeling disconnected, if we're feeling like our feet aren't grounded on the, physically aren't grounded on the floor or on the ground, breath work brings us back. It invites us back to that space of our whole selves and our body. And it's a way to both calm and regulate. And it's also a way to gain some energy. Today we'll focus on the calming pieces though. Movement, moving our bodies, getting energy flowing, even if that is just stretching, looking. Earlier we rotated our shoulders, getting some sort of movement in. I heard somebody else talk about, they're wanting to increase their movement. I too have been working on this. Nafasi and I check in periodically around, have we moved today? And so that again is another way of connecting our body, getting in touch with our body, moving. And then affirmations, I added this in here. I think this is an important one because, if we're going to be in our head, let's send ourselves some love. And so I put our little person here saying, I am, those power of the I am statements. I am strong. I am grounded. I am love. I'm worthy. I am able. Those are so important to hear ourselves say, have it vibrate in our body as we're speaking it out loud. All of these just tap into our bodies and our nervous systems. And then co-regulation, being in community, and so I mentioned contacting Nafasi. So co-regulating, if I am feeling stress or upset, I definitely know that I want to reach out and be in community with someone. And so I might call Nafasi or just send a quick text like, hey, this is something that I'm facing. And having Nafasi reflect back to me, reminding me of who I am and what I am accomplishing and what I have accomplished has been really helpful. And it's not sweeping my feelings under the rug at all. It's just literally having that person to help me regulate in the moment. Like, oh, I feel like I'm spinning, I feel like my heart is palpitating, and so to have somebody reflect back to me, okay, let's breathe. What do you need? Go look at the sky. All those little things are ways of co-regulating. And then Chia was, I think I heard Ham was the name of the little friend there, the little fur baby. But I put the pause here because co-regulation can also happen with pets and furry friends too. So having that love and this community right here, I just hope that you continue to tap into one another, support one another, and practice that co-regulating together as well. Box breathing is you breathe and inhale, hold for 4. You inhale for 4 seconds or a count of 4, hold it for 4, exhale it for 4. I can't talk. And then hold it again. So literally you can imagine going into a box. And so that's a way, that you can regulate your breathing, and it's for calming. So inhaling, holding, exhaling. Humming bee breathing taps into our vagus nerve, and our vagus nerve, in a really simple way of thinking it, is a reset button. And so humming is a way to send a vibration through our body. And so if I inhale and I exhale as a hum, so that sends a vibration through my body that is telling me and that vagus nerve to calm and reset myself. So that's something that is really helpful for regulating as well. It taps into too, like ancient. None of these practices are new, right? And so, if we think about Om, chanting Om, it's that same type of effect on the body. Go to the next one. A couple other ones similar to the box, the triangle. If the box doesn't work for you, maybe if your breathing is a little more, you feel like a little more shortened, a triangle might be a better shape for you. So starting at one end, breathing in for a count of 3, holding for a count of 3, breathing out for a count of 3. Again, these are things that you can just come back to during the day. This next one is a little more of a deep one. I like this one if you have a little more time. This one invites us to trace the rainbow, the colors of the rainbow with our finger. And so that just allows us to really focus and have, not only are we engaging our breathing, but we're literally engaging our body into the action of the breath, and extending the breath and elongating it, and just helps us to focus and get out of our head as well.